Alright, it's 1 o'clock on Tuesday, and this is the Long Center for the Performing Arts, where the ballet, opera, and symphony, all of Austin, perform. And it's lunchtime, so I'm going to have some lunch, and this is the view. That, of course, is downtown Austin. In front of us is Auditorium Shores, where people are always biking and running, playing soccer. There's dogs walking and all kinds of activity. You can't see it in this, but right in front of Auditorium Shores is the Lady Bird Lake, little body of water. It used to be called Town Lake. Actually part of the Colorado River, not the big one, another one. And this is all the skyline. Most of these tall buildings were not there 10 years ago. And this one here is the tallest building right now in Austin. It's called the Independent. People call it the Jenga building. And if you look right in the center, right there, the building being built is at 6th and Guadalupe, and that's actually what they call the building. That is going to be the tallest building in Austin when it's finished in about a year. So just a little tour of my lunchtime activities, and now I'm just going to go over towards this building, which is the Palmer Event Center, and sit around this little pond they built, and you can see there are some benches. Just gonna sit down and have some lunch and just relax. And just there's a wide shot of the Long Center. Quick note that the Long Center used to be called the Palmer Auditorium. And before that, it was just a municipal auditorium. So they kind of renovated this in the early 2000s to make it home for the new home for the opera, the ballet, and the symphony. So it's refurbished from the municipal auditorium that was built, I believe, in the mid-50s. And this was the place in 1963, November 22nd, that President Kennedy was coming to from Dallas before he was assassinated. Anyway, it's the Long Center now, and once again, downtown Austin. And we'll just go to this little pond. It's a nice place to hang out. There are some koi in this pond, but I don't see any right now, so maybe they're sleeping. Now we're actually on Lady Bird Lake. Here's all those tall buildings that were built in the past 5 to 10 years, some still being built. That's looking east. Just really nice hanging out here. It's such a wonderful day. This is Auditorium Shores, where everyone's hanging out. course, on the weekend, this place is really crowded. And that's a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan, famed blues guitarist who died in a helicopter crash in 1990. He's from Texas. I don't think he's from Austin, but this statue was erected in his honor. So a lot of people come by here and pose for a photo next to it. That's the Fannie Davis Town Lake Gazebo. I'm just a little further east down Lady Bird Lake. Once it gets a little bit warmer, there'll be a lot more people on the water. See, there's a rower and a couple of people in paddle boats. And that building in the center is the Long Center, where I'll be heading back in a few minutes. Lunch is almost over. But it's really nice to be able just to come out here and just sit and relax. I can sit on this rock. Straight ahead is City Hall. Let's point out some buildings here. That's the W Hotel in the center. Let's see. That tall one in the center is the Austonian. That was the tallest building in Austin until the Independent. When I came here my first time in 2009, they were just finishing it. Now if you see that one in the center, right there, sorry I have a band-aid on, that is the Frostbank Tower. Just some couple of buildings of note. And it's really cool. And too, this is the First Street Bridge, and the bridge behind it is the Ann Richards Congress Avenue Bridge. There's a squirrel. So it's just really peaceful. One last look before I go back in. This is the main field, Auditorium Shores. Sometimes they have concerts out here. And like I said before, straight ahead is the Long Center, where I've been working. I've worked on a couple of ballets, a couple of operas. We're setting up right now for the Ballet Austin's production of A Midsummer's Night's Dream. We hung all the lights yesterday, and today we are focusing the lights. I'm up in a lift, 30 feet high, listening to the lighting designer tell me how to move the lights and focus on certain parts of the stage. And the only problem is with when you're in that kind of what they call like the genie lift, the higher you get, the more it wobbles. So it could be a little you know, when you're up there adjusting and you're kind of shaking a little bit 30 feet up off the ground. But anyway, that's my job. So, over and out. Be well.